As we get back into the show, the Central Arkansas Sugar Bears, first place in the Eastern Division and overall, took on Sam Houston State in their annual Pink Zone game here at the Fair Center on Saturday afternoon. And it was obviously going to be a big matchup with Sam Houston State as they came in on a roll, winning 3 in a row. They were leading the Western Division and still had a chance to catch us, depending on how the game went on Saturday afternoon.
Right, and they still could. There's still a lot of basketball left to be played, but we needed to protect our home court and the tiebreakers of anything that could come down in the conference race and conference tournament seeding, and we were able to get that done.
Obviously good to get back home after a big emotional win at McNeese State at the off day, and important to come out here in front of the home fans and give them something to cheer about.
It was. I wanted to come back out on the right foot, and so did the girls. And I thought we got started off on a pretty good start. They scored the first possession of the game, but then we were able to come back and get into it, and I thought we did a pretty good job in the first half, especially.
Say we kind of flipped the script this week as you see a senior Destiny Rogers who's been tearing it up from outside, but the Sugar Bears on top early 3-2, and that was a lead you ultimately never gave up.
Yeah, and I thought that seeing Des get going early, as you see a couple of three-point shots here, I thought that was big for us. When she's more aggressive, we're better, and I thought she did a good job of staying aggressive. And then, you see Nakia attacking there, and they did a good defensive team. We ran the shot clock down a couple times in the first half. You see Megan put one up in the air with the shot clock running down, and it was a good finish.
Say, Sam Houston State's one of the better defensive teams in the league, aren't they?
They are. They are. They're one of the best on both ends of the floor. That combination that we'll play against all year, and they've got 4 games left to play, and I don't know if they'll drop another one or not. But they were a tough team. We knew they were going to be a tough team, and so we had to come out hungry, and I thought we did a good job.
One thing I noticed early in this game is you were able to beat them up and down the floor back in transition off missed shots, or even on a couple of times when they scored, and I know that was important, especially getting that early lead.
Yeah, we wanted to really push the ball, and we felt like we could put pressure on the defense. You see Courtney Dewar there on the shot fake and drive. We felt like we can put them in bad situations if we did that. Nakia got them to back off, and then she knocked down the 3 at the top of the key. So those are good plays, and we did a good job of reading the defense and seeing where we could get help from and things of that nature. And you see Megan going and getting her own shot and then putting it back. What a phenomenal effort right there.
We've seen it so many times over the last 3.5 years, and getting back to Nakia Guide, and when they sag off like that, that is where she's at her most dangerous, because she can pull up and hit that 3, or she'll drive right to the basket, either lay it off or go ahead and put it in the hole.
Yeah, and then, on the other end, we go back and get a stop. Weston Taylor, who does a great job of taking charges, she comes in and gives us big minutes off the bench, and then she comes right back at them on the other end and knocks down a 3. Big plays for us, and really created some separation as we've doubled them up on the scoreboard in the first half.
And that's one thing with Weston. If she can get confidence back in her shot, that'll just be another weapon you add into the arsenal late in the season.
Yeah, and when she's got it rolling, she's got it rolling, and you can bet if she hits one, we're going to try and go right back to her most of the time. And especially I knew that she would be into it because she'd just taken that charge, so it was a good play for us, and I felt like a big staple for the first half.
Obviously, you had to survive this little area right here. Sam Houston hits a shot at the buzzer. They had a little bit of momentum going in, but you still led at the break 35-27. And then the second half, it was really just nip and tuck the entire way.
It was. They fought back, and we knew that they were going to fight back. And we extended the lead, which it's a good thing we did. As you see, Des knocked down another 3 there, and in transition, a walk-up 3. They were just going to be a team that we were going to have to reckon with for 40 minutes, and we were just able to figure out a way to get it done.
I'm not sure we've talked about one thing about how good they are, especially rebounding the basketball. For the game, you got out-rebounded by 1, but with Sequina Thomas down low, the leading rebounder in the conference, they have really a great inside-outside presence.
Yeah, they do, and we've got good inside players, as you see Courtney on the block, and then Meg backdoored, and Des finding her on the layup. But we knew that rebounding was going to be a huge key for both those kids inside, and I thought we did a pretty good job for the most part.
You did a good job against their defense, obviously finding holes. A very sticky team. They seemed tall, athletic, got up and down the floor. After those first few times in that first half you beat them, they obviously made the adjustment, and you spent more time, it looked like, in the second half trying to work in the half-court game.
Yeah, and we wanted to grind it out and let the clock run, but they just kept battling. As you see, Brittany Martin, one of the best players in the league for sure, going a layup, and then they push the ball back down in transition. We have trouble finding our defensive assignments, and they knocked down a 3 late.
You did a good job at the end of this game, and for the second home game in a row, I believe you've run that same play as we see at the end to kind of waste away the clock, where Megan inbounds it to Micah Rice that comes in, and then she gets it back and sends her to the free throw line.
Yeah, it was a good play for us, just to get the clock running and to try and get the ball where we wanted it to go. And sometimes it throws them off, sometimes it doesn't. But Meg did a good job of letting Micah get out of bounds and then stepping back to the ball. So, and we had some counters in case they denied that, but. We were lucky to get out with a win.
61-55 the final score, and it's good to be undefeated at home and 11-1 in league play and keep the pressure on everyone else.
It really is. I don't feel like the pressure's on everyone else. I feel like the pressure's on us, but I always feel like the pressure's on us. So I would much rather be in this spot as fighting to get in the conference tournament, as we've already clinched a berth in the conference tournament for the second year in a row, and those are the first 2 seasons that we were eligible to do so. So I'm proud of where we are.
Sonic play of the game, Weston Taylor, we saw her take the charge and come out on the other end and knock down the 3. Obviously a momentum swing right there when you can do that, and especially have a player like Weston Taylor. She kind of gets her confidence back going into the last couple weeks of the year.
I think anytime that you're going to try and win a championship, you have to be consistent and efficient on both ends of the floor, and I think the play that you saw where she took the charge and then comes back and knocks down a 3, I thought those were they exemplified what we were looking for on both ends.
21 wins. You're obviously fond of the term blackjack, and for the 3rd year in a row, you're able to hit it.
Yeah, I'm really pleased with that, and now I just want to bust on every hand. So the bigger the bust, the better. So we'll see how that plays out, but we've got to get ready for a tough Nicholls State team.
We're able to take care of business here at home, and you have one more home game on this homestand, and that's Nicholls State, and we'll take a look ahead of that after this.
Real Yellow Pages, YP.com, and YP.com on your mobile. More ways to search, more ways to find. Only from AT&T.
Flooding happens. When it does, call All Clean Restoration, Arkansas's solution to disaster restoration. Flooding, fire and smoke, tornado, and more. We are Arkansas's #1 restoration company, able to reverse the damage of any disaster, large or small, and get your home or business back to the way it should be.
Tell your insurance company you prefer All Clean Restoration.
All Clean Restoration, proudly serving all of Arkansas.
Back here on the Central Arkansas Sugar Bear Basketball Report, again, it's time for our weekly awards, and we're going to roll them all into one, the AT&T Player of the Week and the Log Cabin Stat of the Week. Destiny Rogers, your senior point guard. We've seen her come alive as of the last couple of weeks, and once again, she played 40 minutes here Saturday, had only 1 turnover, and she gave your team the lead in the first minute, and it never looked back from there.
She didn't miss a field goal. She only turned it over 1 time. She only missed 1 free throw, had 2 defensive rebounds. So the stats and the players of the week, I think that's a good choice.
And I think another thing is interesting, she got to play it in front of a good contingent of Lady Cardinals from Camden Fairview. Her family brought some up, and obviously part of this big crowd we had here Saturday, so I know that had to be a big thrill too.
Yeah, I think she got a chance to show them around after the game too, and which goes to show that your players are proud of the things that they're building and the things that we've put into the program, and I'm happy for her and her family.
One thing I want to bring up, you mentioned on the previous segment, she seems to be better when she's more aggressive, and we've seen the last 3 weeks where she's really saved us a couple of times, and we've seen her kind of turn it up. Is that something clicked obviously in the middle of the year? Do you know what it was, or is it kind of one of these things that realize it's time to go now? We got a championship to play for.
Well, we asked her to be more aggressive, and she came out the next night and had 27 versus Texas State, and I was like, okay, I want you to be aggressive every night if that's what we're going to get. So it's a nice change of pace. We want to put pressure on the defense, and she does a good job of, she doesn't make many mistakes, so it's okay if she goes at a fast rate, and our team's better for it, and we need to just continue to pick that up.
I know one thing we keep talking about is her offensive productivity, but defensively she seems to be a glue piece and at the right place at the right time.
Yeah, she does a good job of being in the right position for the most part, and our team has a tendency to ball watch, and we've got to continue to get better at that. But she's just a good head of the monster for us, and pretty solid head at that, and we're happy to have her back for her senior season.
Well, turning the page on the winning at Sam Houston State, we have one more home game, and that's against Nicholls State here this week. And down in Thibodaux, it took every second of the 40 minutes to come out with a win, having to come back with what turned out to be the start of many comebacks in the second half, but down, I believe, 16 on the road, able to come back and get a win. And Nicholls State, they tied their school record for wins in the season on Saturday. They have a lot to play for coming in here Wednesday.
Yeah, they're a good team, and they can really score that ball, and we had trouble with them in the first half, and we're able to figure out a way to fight back and steal a win on the road. And I know that they'll come in here hungry, and they probably feel like they owe us one, but I feel like we owe them one too. I didn't think we got off to a good start down there, and hopefully it will be a different story here.
Obviously, you'll hope your team comes out with a different focus than it did at Thibodaux. There's a lot on the table this week, to be blunt. There is,
and you know, I hope we start off, you know, a lot better than we did down there, but I hope the result's the same, and that Sugar Bears on top.
They're dangerous. I know they pose a lot of different problems. A quick point guard, Summer Leslie, and then a great shooter in KK Babin. They're more perimeter oriented, obviously, but they kind of match up well with this, don't they?
They can really put the ball on the floor, and they make it a point to drive it and try and get to the free throw line, and they also knock down shots, especially off the dribble, off the bounce, and from behind the arc, and so they're going to be dangerous for us, and we'll have to make necessary adjustments, but we'll go to work today and try and prepare for a pesky Nicholls State team.
And then Saturday on the road at Hammond, Louisiana.
Tough team. They just won at home by 30 against Texas Arlington, a team that we only beat by 2. So our league is tough, and Southeastern's really good at home. But, you know, our focus needs to be Nicholls State.
Well, that game against Nicholls State will be right here at the Ferris Center at 7 o'clock here on Wednesday night, and the Sugar Bears hit the road to take on Southeastern Louisiana on Saturday afternoon. We're going to wrap it up here. One game, it was a win against Sam Houston State. You got the tiebreak over them. You end the week 11-1, 21-4 overall in first place in Southland Conference, and that's where you want to be.
Like being on top, need to stay there, and in order to do that, we got to take care of Nicholls State.
Well, thanks, Coach Dingle, for joining us here this week, and thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week here on the Central Arkansas Sugar Bear Basketball Report.
The Matt Daniel Collins Show is on the Bear 91.3 KUCA at 7:30 on Mondays at Beef O'Brady's in Conway. Come by for a chance to meet your favorite Sugar Bears and enjoy the weekly show specials and giveaways.